Okay, we're happy to have you.
9th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Okay, so we're in the middle of, we're just going over this case that we started the other day on Thursday on the very bottom of 85b. The Gemorrah over here is trying to prove that temporary nezik, a temporary injury, which is going to fully heal, but right now, if he would be sold in the shuk, it would be worth less. Is that a case that the nezik could be paid? Temporary nezik. So the Gemara is bringing a attempt to prove from the case of Maki Aviv Imo, Aloha Saban Chabura. It's a case of a child that hit a parent and there's no Chabura. And yet the Mishnah says over there on Pei Zion that he's got to pay all 5 payments, including nezik. So the Gemara says over here, Heichidami, what was the case exactly? Lav kagon dehiko al yado, v'sofo laksor. The Gemara takes a stab and says, let's say that it's talking about a case where he hit the parent on the hand, and the hand is now out of commission, but it's sofo laksor. It eventually, however long it's going to take, we don't know. It's going to heal completely, and so really at the end of the day, there's no permanent nezik, but temporary. He's out of commission, and
but no wound.
But there's no wound. The reason why there's no wound is Rashi said on the bottom of the page. Maybe you want to read that. Rashi on the bottom of Pei Hey Amid Base. Below also behen chabura.
Below. Chabura. Yeah, I see. Okay. The hello hein ha nis nakim. That would for him there is nakin. I don't know what hanis nakin is.
I think.
Pardon?
You're on the bottom of 85b.
85b, yeah. The last Rashi.
Lo also behen chabura. The first words are de'eno lov chiyuv misa.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the previous. I was one later. De'en alav chiyuv misa ad she yaseh bahem chabura. Below hein ha nis nakin. So there is not upon him a obligation of misa. In other words, he's not liable for the death penalty until or unless that he makes a wound. He causes in the father or the mother a wound. And there is not here for them, and I don't know the last word.
Okay, so Rashi says be'elu hein hanechnokin. That's the name of the Perek in Sanhedrin. Elu hein hanechnokin. These are the ones who are given the misa of chenek.
So it's just saying this is the source of this of the principle that he doesn't get the death penalty unless he makes a wound.
Right.
Okay, so the point is there can't be a wound because otherwise it wouldn't be a question of whether he pays damage. It would be a question of whether he's executed.
Right. If it's a capital case because there's a wound, so then he's exempt on any payments.
Isn't a shriveled hand a wound? Well, it's temporary, but it's a wound.
That's what I was asking because I think my English says his hand shriveled, but I'm assuming that can't be because that would be a wound.
Well, okay. So now, what exactly is a wound? What constitutes a wound? So that's the subject of the Gemorrah in Sanhedrin over there. And I have a note over here. Sherakim chaval behem v'hotzi mehem dam chayv misa. Only if the blow that he struck drew blood, would there be a chiyuv misa? Va'oz potter b'tashlumim. Then he would be exempt from any monetary payments. Since we have a principle that we established to him the more severe punishment, and then he's exempt on any other obligation.
So if he hits his father in the arm, he breaks his arm, fractures the bone, that's not considered to be a wound?
You have to draw blood, is it?
Okay, so here you have to know that the English translation of the word chabura is not accurate.
It's not what?
Not accurate.
Oh.
When we say the word in the Gemorrah is chabura. Chabura doesn't mean a wound. Chabura means from the word chibor. Chibor means that there is a joining together, like you have chaverim. They're people that join together. That's what the word chabura is, and what it means is that the blood comes together at the surface of the skin. Or if he drew blood, that would even be more clearly the case, that there would be you would have a din chabura. So it's not really a we're not really talking about the severity of what the blow incurred. We're talking about a very specific halakhic definition of what's called a chabura.
So if there's a black and blue mark, is that a chabura?
So does black and blue mark mean that the blood congealed at the surface of the skin?
Yes.
It's underneath the surface.
Yeah, even that would be regarded as a chabura in Shabbos. I would assume that it would be the same over here, but of course, as with everything, it's a whole sugya in Shas. So we'd have to take a look at the sugya in Shas, and it's not our sugya right now. But just to make the point that here you see that oh, there they are. that it's like a malacha on Shabbos. What's called a malacha on Shabbos? What's called doing a malacha, right? Even turning on a light. I'm doing hardly nothing, but it's everyone agrees that it's a malacha. Whereas doing hard work such as moving furniture here and there in the house, all over the house, that's not called doing work. So, in other words, each thing has a specific halakhic, very exact guideline, and to us it might seem like it's not exactly the the definition of what we would call work. It's not what we would here. Just the word chabura is just totally. It's hard to translate it into English. In other words, so whatever they said, they say wound over there. It's not really what it means.
Well, we've been saying that if there's a chabura, then there's nezek. And nezek, I understand, means you pay for the damage that you did. So the implication from the word nezek is that severity is important here. That if it's a more severe wound, if it's a broken bone, you're going to have to pay, and you're going to have to pay more than if it's a black and blue mark on his arm.
But in the case of a bocher here, of a child, he's not going to pay anyway, because he's going to be missing.
What?
In the case of a child here,
Yeah.
he's not going to pay anyway. He's going to be put to death.
No, we're saying he's not put to death because there's no chibura.
Oh, I see.
We're trying to understand what that means. There's no chibura, because the English says his hand shriveled. It's trying to relate this case of the child hitting the father to our case, where the person's hand shriveled.
So we're saying that the severity of the action is not under consideration.
It would seem that from the definition that we're now giving of chibura, having to do only with blood, that we're leaving out a whole lot of different kinds of injuries, which you should have to pay for. And that's what I'm questioning. How is the halacha dealing with?
Okay, so you have to understand something. The reason why we're discussing chabura is because that's what Rashi is telling us. That's what the absence of a chabura. That's what makes it possible for the son to be liable to pay for nezek. If there would be a chabura, so then there's no payments over here. It's not our case. We're looking for a case where there's going to be a payment, where there's a possibility of making a monetary payment. So we got to talk about a case which there is no chabura. But the reason why but it's a bit. That's why this case, what this Gemorrah is saying over here is a bit tricky, because it makes it sound like, oh, if there's no chabura, oh, so that's the case where there's going to be nezek. Well, what do you mean? Nezek is a serious injury. So it's a bit not really exact. Over here, it's not the fact. It's not so that the reason that why we think that there's going to be a payment of nezek is because there's no chabura. The only way that we can talk about whether there's a possibility of nezek is if there is no chabura, because for some reason, which we trying to figure out last Thursday, I couldn't figure out what on the drop of a hat why the Mishnah is talking about a child and a parent altogether. But in any case, that's the situation over here. Where the art scroll gets that the hand shriveled, I don't know. I don't see any anything in Rashi to indicate that. When the Gemorrah over here says, what's the case? Hi, v'loy osa chabura. This case over here with the son and the father that he didn't make a chabura. Heichi dummy, what exactly happened over there? The Gemorrah just says, Lav kagon shehiko al yodo. Is it not the case that he hit him on the hand? Well, what happened to the hand? I don't know. Something happened to the hand. It was put out of commission. The sofo laksor, but it's in the end of the day, it's going to return to its previous state of health and capability. So I don't know where they got that it shriveled, but well, maybe 1 second. Maybe we got some Rashis to read over here on the top of Pei Vav Amid Aleph.
Yeah, I think so, because according to the footnote, there's a Rashi which discusses this idea of the hand that shriveled.
The footnote there actually says that capital punishment is not incurred unless the child inflicts a wound. So it actually should mean unless the child draws blood.
Yeah, I don't know why they're being consistent in their they got some reason why they want to say Chabur is a wound. I don't know what they just don't want to, whatever. That's the way so they're being consistent. In other words, when you see the word wound, you have to say, oh, they're talking about a Chabura, and a Chabura is whatever the Gemorrah in Sanhedrin says a Chabura is, but it's not necessarily doesn't simply mean a wound. It's just a approximate translation of what the word Chabura means. Just like when you say a malacha on Shabbos, he did work on Shabbos. What does it mean that he did work on Shabbos? That's the whole subject of the whole Maseches Shabbos. What's called malacha? What are the 39 categories? So that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be hard labor, but in any case, that's the story over there. Yeah, so but before we go to page Pei Vav Amid Aleph, we have something to do. We have to say, "Hooray!" Wow. Hey, Amid Base. That was not an easy page.
Not at all.
Okay, Baruch Hashem, we got through it. Okay, so now we ask Lou to read the Rashis on Pei Vav Amid Aleph. We got two over here, I think.
Okay, Chiyuv b'chulan is
Read.
obligated in all of them. Let me sit forward. You probably can't hear me. Chiyuv b'chulan, he's obligated in all of them. HaMishnah de Rabim, Divarim. The words of our Mishnah?
Hamisha.
Oh, Chamisha, five. Oh, five things. Oh, all of them means the five things. In other words, in this case, where he strikes his father or his mother and does not inflict a wound, he's obligated in five payments, in all five payments. So that includes Nezek.
Right.
Okay. Hey Chadami, what's the case? Shiha Isaac below Chavura. That there was a damage without a wound.
Right. That's what we have to figure out, says the Gemorrah. Where could we find a case where there was no Chabura and yet there'll be nezek.
Nezek. Lav kegon she hachu kule. Is it not? For example, shahaku. I don't know.
That's from the word hakah, that he struck a blow.
From a blow. Is it not? For example, from a blow. De be'ain sofo lechazor leka lememar techol below chabura sofo lechazor hu. Okay, so it means that there is not in the end lechazor to go back.
Okay, so this Rashi, we have to keep in mind before we start Rashi's comment, we have to take into consideration this chavav with a slash over here.
Oh, etc.
Rashi didn't, the printer didn't write all the words over here, or maybe Rashi didn't either, but they're very important to understanding what Rashi's comment is referring to. The Gemorrah said, Lav kagon shehiko al yado, he struck him on the hand, besofo lachzor. And
in the end, it returned to full health.
Right. That, in other words, that's the case that the Gemorrah is suggesting will be a case where there won't be a chabura, and nevertheless, there's a possibility of nezek. That maybe he would have to, and this, it says in the Mishnah, he's got to pay for that type of nezek. Now here we're talking about nezek, which is temporary in nature, because it's sofolaxor. The hand is going to eventually come back to its health. But right now, the hand is incapacitated, and if he would be sold in the shuk, he'd be worth a lot less with a hand that he can't do nothing with. Okay, so now on that, what the Gemorrah said, Rashi's got a comment.
Does that mean that it is not?
The be'ain sofolaxor, because in a case where the hand would not come back to its previous state of capability,
we would not say that he pays all without a chabura. In the end, it returned.
Every case where there's no chabura, sofolaxor. That's
the circular.
Rashi's saying like this: the kol below. First of all, let's take the first part. There's two parts to this Rashi. Two ideas he's saying. The first idea is that he's going on what the Gemorrah said. The Gemorrah said it must be that we're talking about a case that he hit him on the hand, and it's going to come back to complete health at some point in time. So that's called a temporary nezek. The Gemorrah is questioning about whether there's a payment for that, and this is the Mishnah. The Gemorrah wants to suggest as a proof that there is. On that, Rashi says, because what would be why is it not possible? Rashi wants to tell us, why is it not possible to talk about a case in the Mishnah where the hand was not sofolaxo? It's not going to come back to its former state of health and capability. To be'ain sofo laxer, for in a case where the hand is not going to come back, lek lamemar, this we cannot, lek lamemar, there's not to say. I mean, that cannot be the case of our Mishnah. Why can that not be the case of our Mishnah? That's the subject of this second idea that Rashi's saying over here. Second point is the kol below chabura, because every case where there is no chabura that is made, so for laksahu, it is a case where the hand is going to come back to its former state of health and capability.
That contradicts the definition that we had for Gemorrah.
Why?
Because it's making whether or not it's a chibur dependent on whether it comes back. But we said the chibur is dependent on blood. It has nothing to do with coming back or not.
Well, it's not direct. It's true. It's not directly related. The two are two separate things. You're right. But Rashi's telling us these two unrelated things. This is a reality. Rashi's saying, I believe. Rashi's saying it is a reality that in other words, we find in the world that wherever there was a blow that did not make a chabura, Rashi's saying sofo laksor. It'll be a injury which will completely heal, and there won't be any permanent disability as a result.
Well, I would say I'd give an example of a broken arm. No, it's not a chibura, but it doesn't heal completely.
Ah.
I had a broken arm. I broke my right arm when I was a kid, and to this day I can't touch my shoulder.
Oh,
Can't touch my shoulder.
I can't put my palm on my shoulder like this. I can go to my shoulder, but this one I can't. Anyway, this is the one. This is the one I can. I got confused.
You look like exactly the same. You look like you could.
Here I can go like this. Here I can go like this.
You can't go right down.
But there was no blood.
Mm-hmm.
I remember arguing with my mother and telling her I didn't break my arm because you couldn't see anything. There's no sign that it was broken.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to go further on are we going to see further on in the Gemorrah where it addresses this problem? Where
isn't it going to be on the next page?
Is Gemorrah going to talk about loose shoulder? I don't think so.
Oh, too bad. I was really looking forward to that.
Okay. So
how can they say that if there's no chibur, it has to heal? I just gave an example where there's no chibur and it doesn't heal.
well, we'll see. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what the Gemorah's answer is. At this point, what?
If the blood is there or blood is not there, that's irrelevant. Whatever else is irrelevant, isn't it?
What's irrelevant? Whether there's blood?
If there's blood or there's not blood, that's the issue, not whatever else happened.
No, no, no. The whole point of this Rashi we just read is it says dechol below chavura sofo laksor hu, which means every case where there is not a chibura, in the end, it will return to full health.
Mhm.
So that's a definition now. That's another definition of chibura. Something that after in the end it returns to full health. So I'm saying that definition contradicts our previous definition, which was that there had to be blood. We're trying to understand what is a chibura. What is a chibur? We've been translating it as wound, and that translation is proving to be
Maybe
deficient.
we have to look up this Gemorrah in Sanhedrin over here. I see where this is this might, this is a Gemorrah in Sanhedrin, Pei Dalet Amid Base.
$8.
That's what the note says over here.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
That's
Is it
where
the
Rashi
34?
said the sources.
Hey, Dolly.
Pay dollar is what?
84,
84.
84,
84.
Sanhedrin. Dalet Amid Base.
84 what? Aleph.
Hmm. Hmm.
We have to have the 2 volumes.
Hey, Dolly, I'm in base, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the third volume,
Oh,
Roy,
it would be, wouldn't it? Hang on.
number 49 in the art scroll.
Maka Avi Imoy Nolan, Xiv Maka Avi Imoy Mos Yumas. Komisa Hamor Batoros Stam Eno El Chenik. Ima Adikatale Mikdal. So Gedaita Chamina Koto Had Beside. We're talking about the, let's see. Hmm. 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 Oh.
Okay. What's the 5 down here? Mission 4B is, where is it?
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
It's on 84 B2, right-hand column, the third paragraph. It's Ema Af Al Gav is the phrase. And in the Gemorrah, it's first word in the line is tzrichi.
What's that?
Yeah.
What do you see over there, Lou?
It's halfway down in the middle of Pei Dalet Amid base. First one in the line is tzrichi.
Oh, I see.
This is our case where it says Eino chayiv ad sheyaseh bahem chabura.
Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, in other words, the Mishnah says these are the ones that are subject to the death penalty, Elohei Nechnakin. Hamake Aviv V'imo. So we need a makeh. So now the Gemorrah wants to know what exactly constitutes a makeh. And the Gemorrah says, Ema afogav deloy Ovid bechabura. I might think to say that even if no chabura is made, even though no chabura is made, and Rashi, is there a Rashi over here? Mentions anything about a chabura? No. Not even any Rashi over here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a Rashi either.
So in any case, the Gemorrah says, if that would be so, Alama Tanan Hamake Ovi V'imoy Eno Chayev Ad Sheyasa Behen Chabura. Oh.
There is a footnote that says that we should say 85b.
Yeah, I guess that's where this Mishnah is about. The Gemorrah just quoted a Mishnah. If it's the case that we're talking about that they didn't make a chabura, and that's the case that our Mishnah here is talking about on 84b, the Gemorrah says, Alama Tanan, why then did we learn in the Mishnah on the next page, Makavi Be'imo Eno Chayev, he won't be liable for the death penalty ad sheyasa ben chabura, unless and until he inflicts a chabura, whatever that refers to, which we not defining it. Omakra maka adam umaka behema, ma maka behema ad ovid be chabura. Diksiv ba nefesh, af maka adam, ad ovid chabura. The Gemorrah infers that the makah to strike someone involves making a chabura. We still don't know exactly what that constitutes.
And we're not going to find that out today either.
Why? It's out of time? Oh, we're out of time.
time.
Okay.
Oy vey, Zmir.
Okay, so here's not where they referred to is not didn't tell us where it is to that we know what exactly is a chabura.
Right.
All right. Okay, so we'll continue. Ezrat Hashem. Oh, tomorrow's Erev Shabbos. Okay,
Right. You're teaching tomorrow at 10:30?
Ezrat Hashem.
All right. See you then.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Shkoyach. Have a great day.
Okay.
Everybody.
You
Good
too.
and
Take care.
joy.
Bye-bye.